Hello and welcome to Terrance the Ticklish Mule, and right there he is, getting tickled by a little alfalfa as we speak, my friends. Hey, first and foremost, make sure you have your notebook out and you're ready to take some good old notes, and here we go. Terrance loves his alfalfa, but his owner keeps tickling his nose just like he's doing right here. His owner loves Terrance, but he can't help tickling his favorite mule. His owner has 4/5 pounds of alfalfa in the food bin, and Terrance gets 2/7 pounds of alfalfa at each meal. How many meals are in the food bin? And your hint is how many 2/7 are in 4/5. So let's go ahead and do the mathematical model first. And what I'd like to do here is just make a big old fraction box, right? And then we're going to take that fraction box and we're going to create the 4/5 pounds of alfalfa that is in the food bin, okay? So if there's 5 parts, we're going to draw 4 lines. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you get 4 out of the 5 parts. So let's color in 4 of the 5 parts. And we'll just color them in like that. Scoot that over. It needs to be adjusted a teeny bit. There we go. And here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 5 parts. So 4/5 pounds of food in the food bin. Now, Terrance gets 2/7 pounds of alfalfa at each meal. So I'm going to break this into 7 parts going up and down this way. So 7 parts means 6 lines. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That should give me 7 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Fantastic. All right, so Terrance gets 2/7 pounds of alfalfa at each meal. So each meal is going to be 2 of the 7, right? So I'm going to go 2/7 right there. Now, these 2 are empty, so I'm going to move 2 from over here up into here. So I'm going to just take 2 away from there. So I'll go 1, 2, take that away, and I'm going to plug them in right there. So that'll give me 2 more right there. And as you see, now we have 1 full, I'm going to just do big old 1 here, 1 full meal. This is 1 meal that Terrance gets because each meal is 2/7 of a pound. And it's right there. So now I'm going to create another 2/7. And if I circle these 2, that's 2/7. But once again, these 2 are empty. So I'm going to take 2 more from here. And let me just cross these 2 out. And I'm going to fill them in right there. And now I have a second meal that my good friend Terrance right there gets to eat. So here's his first meal, here's his second meal, and I've got some more left over. If I circle another group of 2 here, I don't have a full 2/7, but I do have these here that are colored in. Let's enlarge that and see what I've actually got. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 9, 10. I would need 10, see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 in order to fill this whole 2/7 up. I don't have 10, but I do have 8 out of the 10. So in looking at how many meals he's going to get, he's got 1, 2, and 8/10. So he's got 2 and 8/10 meals, right? Now, this can be simplified, but we'll do that in a little bit. The first thing I want to do is show you the algorithm, because this is the illustration or the mathematical model of what's happening with big old Terrance here and his meals, right? Well, let's go ahead and look at the algorithm of how this would work. You've got 4/5 pounds of alfalfa, so I would just put 4/5, right? And that's going to be divided into groups of 2/7, and that's how you do it, right? So now when you're dividing fractions, you can do one of 2 things. You can either multiply the reciprocal or you can use the strategy of mountains and valleys. I'm going to show you both. So if I multiply the reciprocal, I'm going to leave the first fraction all alone, right? And then instead of dividing like this, I am going to actually multiply. So I'm multiplying the reciprocal, which is 7/2. Now, if you see that, that means I take the division sign, I turn it into multiplication, and then I take this fraction, I flip it upside down, so the 2 is on the bottom and the 7 is up on top. And that's called multiplying the reciprocal. Superb. Now I just multiply like normal. I multiply the numerators and I multiply the denominators. Now, if I do that, I'm going to get 4 times 7 is going to give you 28. So I'm going to get 28 right here. And then right here, 5 times 2 is going to give you 10. And 10 right there. And as you see, this is an improper or top-heavy fraction. So I'm going to have to simplify that into a mixed number. I'll do that in a minute because I want to show you the second strategy. So this first strategy was multiply the reciprocal. Now I'm going to show you mountains and valleys. And you'll see that you'll get the same answer here. So I'm going to make a mountain first. I'll do that in green. And I'm going to just go 5 times 2. And that's... and you're multiplying when you do mountains and valleys. So 5 times 2 is going to give me a denominator of 10, right? So once again, 5 times 2 equals 10. Now I'm going to do my valley, right? So let's do my valley in blue, and I'm going to take 4 times 7, which is going to give me 28. And as you see, whether you use mountains and valleys or you multiply the reciprocal, you will get 28 over 10 for both of those. Superb. Now, I always tell my students you can think of fractions in 3 ways: 28 tenths, 28 out of 10, or in this case, 28 divided by 10. And that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to take 28 divided by 10, and 10 will go into 28 2 times, right? So I'm going to get 2 right here. And then 2 times 10 is going to give you 20. And when you subtract, you get 8. Now, when you're dividing like this, your remainder becomes your numerator, right? 8 right there. And then your divisor becomes your denominator, right? So right there, you get it. And 2 and 8 tenths, as you can see, agrees with our mathematical model right here of 2 and 8 tenths. And that's pretty cool, right? Now, the only thing is, as I mentioned over here, 8 tenths, that can be simplified, right? So I'm going to reduce that or simplify it. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it right down here. I'm going to just write 2 and 8 tenths. And I'm going to divide that by the giant 1 of 2 over 2, right? And 2 divided by 1 is going to give you 2, right? So I'm going to get 2 here. And then you got 8 divided by 2, which is going to give you 4. And then right here, 10 divided by 2 is going to give you 5. And that is your actual simplified answer, my friend. 2 and 4/5 is the actual answer. So how many meals is Terrance the Ticklish Mule getting? He is getting 2 and 4/10 meals out of that 4/5 pounds of alfalfa. And that is lovely, my friends. This is the mathematical model. This is 2 different strategies for the algorithm. Any way you slice it, 2 and 4/5 is your answer. Hey, what I'd like you to do right now is go ahead and pause this video, back it up all the way to when I first started doing the mathematical model, and then play a little, pause and copy, play a little, pause and copy, play a little, pause and copy, until you've completed the entire problem side by side with me, my friend. Why? Because that is the fastest way to learn. Until next time, I hope you have a fantastic day. I'll see you soon.